welcome back to another stream of consciousness from otherdimensions.co.uk. Today's video is Erased, a live-action TV show from Japan. And originally this was a manga, or comic book to those who don't really know what manga means. And after that it became an anime, which is being released on Blu-ray DVD over here by Anime Limited, and has actually just appeared on Netflix itself, because this is also on Netflix, and the anime has just arrived in the last couple of weeks on Netflix too, so I'll look at that at a later date. Erased, obviously being Japanese, is subtitled. It's not a dubbed one, so if subtitles are a problem for you, you're going to miss out on this one, because this is a really good show. Oh yes, another really good show. 2 in a row. Who would have thought that I'd pick shows I like at the moment to review? Basically, the simple story is Satoru Fujinuma, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's a 29-year-old failing manga artist who works as a pizza delivery driver. That's it, basically. That's his life. Not very interesting, doesn't sound it. However, here's the twist. He has a special power known as revival. He can travel back several minutes in time, to the past of course, to correct or prevent an event that happens, but he can't control it. Basically, if it's usually some sort of emotional response probably to something that he sees happen, he actually flips back a few minutes, a few seconds even sometimes, and there he is, back in time, bang, he can try and prevent it. He doesn't really want the power, he doesn't really like the power, but he's got it. However, other than that, his life is fairly unexciting, until he actually prevents an accident and ends up in an accident himself, and his mother comes down from Hokkaido. I think she's in Hokkaido at the time, to look after him, because he's now living in Tokyo. However, while in Tokyo, his mother is murdered, and he's framed for the murder. So far so generic, I suppose. But suddenly, while he's about to be caught by the police, he's sent back in time, not a few minutes to prevent it, but years. He goes back to his 5th grade class, his childhood, in his original home of Hokkaido, set in the winter, so there's snow all over the place to help with the darkness of it. It offsets the darkness of the story with the white of the snow. And during this period that he's sent back to, a child killer is stalking the town, and several of his friends at the time were murdered by this serial killer. So now the story is coalescing together. He sees this as an opportunity to prevent his friends being murdered. But what has this got to do with why he was sent back that far? Is there a link? Well, I think there is. Come on, it's only about 12 episodes. So yes, there is a link. That might be a major spoiler for you. There is a link. Just an offside. This is the 3rd adaptation of a manga by Kei Sanbe. The first was the anime. Then came a movie before this TV show. The anime ending upset some of the manga lovers, I think, from what I've heard, because it ends slightly differently. The movie was obviously rushed, really, in a way, because of course it's like 1.5 hours, 2 hours, or whatever it was, and they had to cram in the whole story into that. So I think, from what I heard, that people weren't that excited by it. The live-action show is purported to be the closest to the original manga, the original vision of the manga. However, most of the storyline follows similar to the anime, though from what I've heard, the villain's backstory is different from the live action to the anime, and his friends, his school friends, have a bigger part to play in the anime than they do in the live action. And the main girl in this, because there's always going to be a girl, but the main girl in his childhood in this also has a bigger role to play in the live action than in the anime. So I'll be interested to see the anime at a later date to see these differences. But to go back, the first victim is Kaio, who is the girl I just mentioned. And she is the most important of the victims, as it were. He develops a deep relationship with this very lonely girl, and most of the first half, in fact 3/4 of the story, is really centered around him getting to know Kaio and trying to prevent her potential murder. Problem is, of course, with time travel, which this is effectively is the more he changes things, the more the future changes, first in subtle ways, but then in much more devastating ways. And then a major twist really changes Satoru's whole future. His whole outlook, his whole everything, his whole life completely changes from where he was. He finds this out because a couple of times during his period at 5th grade, he manages to jump back to the future and finds things have changed, subtly at first, and not enough to actually stop the police from chasing him over his mother's murder, but things keep on changing. He discovers that some people don't die, some different people do die, some different things happen along the way, and it's quite fun to see what little bits have changed. Sometimes you can, if you look closely, you can see like a signpost that he walks past is a different signpost. It's just little Easter egg type things in there. If all this is making you more interested in seeing the program, what I'm going to do now is put the Netflix trailer on for you to have a look at. Then I'll wrap up.
何かがまた起きる。悪いことが。嘘だろ。起きろよ。母さん。なんだよこれ。なしたサトル。ひなずきは殺される。見ないで。ひなずきと友達になりたいんだ。したっけ？また明日な。したっけ？サトルは私のヒーローだよ。今からお前のこと誘拐するけどいい？言葉って口に出してるうちに本当になる気がする。私は自分が生きるこの世界の中で子供が一番大事だ。サトル、何事も全力だ。君が信じてくれたから俺はまだ頑張れる。未来は常に白紙だ。この時間を失ってたまるか。僕だけがやりました。
This is a really strong story. Great cast of characters and very well played by the child actors, which gives this show, with its central, more or less superpower conceit, a real sense of reality. Big thumbs up all round. The special effects are what little they are, possibly the thing that might make you go like, oh dear. But it is Japanese, and Japanese stuff for special effects are pretty weak. Even some of the wigs and some of the beards and things, you go, oh my word, they haven't done those very well. But they're very, very minor niggles. We've always got to find a niggle, haven't we? But this is a great show. Heartily recommend it. Brilliant stuff. If you like Japanese stuff and you don't want the live action, then of course there's always the anime. But what I suggest is watch them both. I'm going to watch the anime as well at a later date. Should be interesting to match the two together. But this live action show is big recommendation. So that's it from us today. We'll be back again another day with some more reviews, observations, streams of consciousness regarding streaming programs on things like Netflix, Amazon, Crunchyroll, etc. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you agree with this video. If you disagree, you don't like it, let us know why. Just like, comment and subscribe. See you soon.